Once everybody joins, I'll start the video. Okay, let's start the video. Okay, Gordon, you guys can start.
Okay, I shall start. My name's Gordon Watt from the Neil Squire Society. I'm joined today by my colleague Khatidja Malik, and we are here to do a presentation on tech hacks for everyday heroes, sort of accessibility tips and tricks that we're going to be offering our opinions on and discussion on as we're going through here. So let's start with a quick introduction. I'm hoping you can see ourselves here. On the left is myself, Gordon Watt. I'm the distance training coordinator at Neil Squire. I've been here for the past 13, 14 years. And Khatidja, would you like to introduce yourself?
Hi, I'm Khatidja, and I've been here 7, 8 years, I think now.
Yep.
But yeah, I'm also part of Distance Computer Comfort, where we do training on computers, mobile devices for people with disabilities.
Okay, I apologize if people don't understand my accent. I will speak slowly so that people understand what I'm saying. Okay, so first thing that we normally do as part of this is our land acknowledgement. I would like to begin by respectfully acknowledging that we are presenting today from the traditional, ancestral and unceded territories of the coastal Salish peoples, specifically the territories of the Cree, Lum, Musqueam and Squamish and Tsleil-Waututh nations. We've acknowledged the rights, interests, priorities and concerns of all Indigenous peoples, and we express our gratitude to the living and working, to be living and working hard on this land. Okay, so we're going to sort of be talking a bit today about the accessibility tips and tricks that we've sort of encountered ourselves doing training as part of Distance Computer Comfort. As far as the agenda is concerned, I'm not sure how much people know about disabilities and accessibility itself, so I'm going to do a quick description of those, and then we're going to sort of move into the sort of different accessibility features depending on the particular device you have, whether it's a PC or a Mac. Also, we're going to be talking about the sort of mobile devices as well, Android devices and iPhones. I've asked Khatidja to put together some tips and tricks as far as these accessibility features are concerned. We will not be discussing any sort of external software that you can purchase. This is all software that's going to be built into the actual operating systems on the computer itself, and it means that we're sort of using sort of features that are already built in that you may not already know of itself. Okay, so to start off with, let's sort of try and identify disabilities and also what accessibility is. Okay, so everyday people with disabilities encounter different challenges using technology. I've sort of tried, these are sort of limitations and are depending on the particular disability. It will, as you're using the devices, are normally categorized into sort of 4 main groups. We've got vision, so people who've get difficulty actually seeing the screens and reading what's on the screen. Hearing, difficulty hearing what we're saying. Mobility, so actually utilizing the keyboard and the mouse to use the computer or mobile device, and also cognitive function, so learning disabilities, brain injuries, and things like that. As far as what accessibility is on these devices are concerned, in general terms, accessibility is the use, as it's described as the degree of to which a product or service or environment can be accessed or used by an individual, regardless of the physical and cognitive ability. So the wide variety of different accessibility tools out there, but as I said before, what we're talking about is the devices, or the particular programs and devices within the operating systems that we're dealing with. But accessibility allows people to increase their independence, improve participation within whatever it is that they're using the devices for, and also having a more sort of inclusive experience. So it helps people to participate more in what they're doing. Okay, so we're going to move on, and we're going to, I've split this up into sort of 4 different areas. So we're going to talk about Windows. We're also going to talk about the Mac. We're going to talk about Android devices, and we're going to talk about iOS. But what are the benefits of the sort of built-in accessibility tools? Well, most are easy to set up on the computer, and once you know where they are. They're free, so there's no additional purchase necessary, and most of these tools will help enhance your experience. Built into all of these particular operating systems, you'll find that there are a mixture of screen readers, voice recognition and dictation, so dictating out loud to some sort of word processor perhaps, and also we've also got alternative input devices. So if you can't use a keyboard or a mouse, you've got access to touchscreens and other alternative methods that we're going to look at. We've also got screen magnification. So as far as the vision is concerned, if the person can't read the screen properly, we can show you how to where the section is for modifying those. And text to speech, if the person has difficulty communicating and needs the text on the screen to be read out to them, again, it could be something to do with vision, then there's the ability to do that as well. So moving on, the first one that we're going to talk about is accessibility features on PCs. Now, the 2 main operating systems that are still out there are Windows 10 and Windows 11. There are slight minor differences between the 2, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to concentrate on Windows 10 because it's it's still the most popular one, but I will touch upon Windows 11 as well as we're going through this. Okay, so to start off with, where do you find these particular tools? Well, in Windows 10, we've got something called the ease of access tools under a section called settings. So down in the bottom left-hand corner of your screen, you normally have a little Windows flag that you can click on. It'll take you into a number of options, and one of them is settings. And then you can go through and go into the actual ease of access tools there. In these of access tools, we've got these particular tools split up into vision, hearing, and interaction, and those are there's a little breakdown of the particular menus that are there. And what I've done is I've taken a sort of video of the particular screens that are here. I'm actually going to play this just now with you. I'll stop and I'll talk about it as we're going along. So the top half of this screen just now is, let's see if I can play this properly here. Okay, so let's talk about this. I'm going to go back here just a moment so we can get to the beginning again. Okay, so as we're looking here, we've got the top half of the menu here. It's split up into text size. We've also got visual effects. We've got a number of other ones here. And I'm going to do each one in turn as we go through, and I can comment on these, and I can get Khatidja to comment on them every now and again as well if there's anything that we need to add here. Okay, so as far as text size is concerned, when we get into that particular section, it allows you to change the text itself, alter the appearance, so that it makes it easier to read. So we've got, that's basically what it says on the tin here. We've got the ability to do a slider, and it makes the text a bit larger there. Okay, and then going on to the next one. Okay, if we move on to the next one here, going back here, and then we can move on to next section here. Come on, it's going a bit slow here, but let's just try that. I'm still playing around here. I always get used to the recording here. So once it goes back to the next option we've got here is visual effects. So to cut down on the amount of distractions on the screen, okay, we can turn on turn off and turn on the animations and things like that, which cuts down on the amount of distractions. And it means that if the person's if there's person's vision issues cause them to not be able to sit in front of the computer screen for very long, then they can alter these particular settings to allow them to sit for a bit longer, depending on what it is that they're actually doing. So as far as the one option in particular there, dismiss notifications after a certain amount of time there. We've got 5 seconds. That means that if notifications are a distraction for the person, then you can turn them off altogether if you need to. Okay, with this. Moving a little bit further, we've got the opportunity of let's see what we've got here. I'm just working my way through it, it's a bit quicker. Again, I was talking about that. So we can move on to the next one here, which is mouse and touch options here. So in this particular screen here, we've got the ability to change the mouse pointer. And we've also got the ability to change the size and the color as well, which means that if the person is who's using the computer has difficulty tracking the mouse on the screen, you can change these particular settings up. So, for example, if you wanted to, you can have an extra large pointer here, and you can also set it up so that you've got the different color of pointer as well, and also the size can be a lot larger if need be. And as I said, it makes for a better experience when you're using the mouse. And down at the bottom there, I don't know if you can see where it says touch indicator. There is an option there to turn that on, so that if someone is using a touch screen, then there's a circle appears around about where the person's finger is. If they do have a computer that's got a touch screen, some computers out there do have them, and they can get turned into tablets. The next one we've got here is text cursor. So if you're working on, say, Word or some other word processor, you've got the ability to change the text cursor so that it can stand out against the background of the text to make it easier to find. And you can also make the cursor a little bit thicker as well when you're working your way through it here. Okay, next one we've got is the magnifier. So this is quite a useful one for people who do have vision issues. The Windows key and the plus sign and Windows key and the minus sign, when it's turned on, will actually will increase and decrease the magnification. The zoom sort of level, the sort of maximum level is up to like 200%. You can increase it higher than that if you want, and you can increase the increments as well, which will allow it to the screen to be magnified. You just need to be aware that when you are using the magnification, it's only going to magnify a portion of the screen. So at the moment, it's set to view there, but you can have it set to split it up into different corners, and you can, as you're moving the mouse around, the magnifier moves around with you. Okay, so that's something else that might be useful to some people. And also, there's some sections down at the bottom there. You've got invert the colours, and when you turn those particular options on, they will help improve the actual reading of the text there. And there's also reading it out loud as well. I'm actually going to talk a bit more about that shortly in one of the other options here, and we can see how that goes. So I'm going to move back to the next one we've got here. So the next one is color filters. So again, it's another vision related object setting, and it allows the person, when the particular options turned on, to switch the colors to grayscale if they have a difficulty reading the actual colors themselves. It comes up and allows them to do that. And an enhancement of that is the contrast as well. So for example, if you've got problems with your vision and you want to if you're having problems with reading black text on a white background, you can invert it using the color filters and the contrast, so that it will stand out a bit more on the screen itself. And moving on to the next option here, which was the narrator. The narrator is something that allows people who are blind to read the text out on the screen, so that they can hear what's going on, and they can navigate through the documents using keyboard shortcuts, and it makes it a bit easier for the person to do that, rather than trying to read the text themselves. Okay. I don't know if Khatidja's got anything to add to. Have you got anything to add to that particular section? Is there anything that you sort of picked off?
Just that these are free options.
Yes,
There
yeah,
are some paid options, but we're focusing right now on the free ones because we wanted to do it for a general audience.
yes.
So some of them are kind of great, some of them are kind of okay, and some of them, so they're like, are they good? They are good enough for being free, but sometimes, there are better options out there. So
yeah, it's, I think there is a mix of whether they're hit or miss. Sometimes they're good, sometimes not so good. As far as
so just keep that in mind, that don't expect too much.
Yes, exactly.
From these free ones.
I think one of my favorites is the magnifier. Using the magnifier on the screen means you don't have to spend too much money on getting an alternative program for the magnifier. So I just took it back to the narrator so we can play the rest of the video.
Color is good too. Color, a lot of people on phones have started using some dark mode, other colors as well. So you can do that now on the computers. Text size, all of those are pretty, you don't even have to have a high level of disability. It can just be that, you wear reading glasses, and maybe you'd be better off with slightly bigger font.
Exactly. Okay, so moving on, we're talking about audio. So anything hearing related is important here. So in these particular sections in here, what we've got is notifications that allow you to, if you have difficulty tracking whether messages are coming in, you can turn notifications on so that you can hear what's actually happening. And the next one is actually pretty useful as well, which is we move on to that. Hopefully it's going to. So there you go. It's coming up with the notifications there. You can choose which particular notifications are there. And then the one after that, which is quite useful, is captions. So you can actually turn on live captioning if you want, using the as it says there, the Windows key, which is next to the control key on your keyboard, along with the control key and L, which turns on live caption. So if you've got anything on your computer that generates sound and generates speech, then you can have captions going at the bottom of the computer itself. That was one that I didn't know too much about that myself, but I was through doing this presentation, I was playing around with it, and it is pretty good at picking up even accents, which is quite interesting. I tried it with one of my own videos, and it did pick up what I was saying, which was rather surprising, but there you go. So you've got the ability to turn that on when that particular set's turned on. It's useful. Okay, so moving on to the. Oops, did I go too far there? I did audio. Sorry, bear with me a second here. I'm going back a bit. I didn't do speech there, so give me a second. So we got to the We've got to about 4 minutes in there. So going on to talking about speech. So for people who've got limited mobility in their hands, there's voice access and voice typing are the two that are here. Voice access is where you can interact with the computer itself. You've also got the ability to do some dictating. The voice typing is something that's actually replacing Windows speech recognition. So in Windows 10, they're because they're sort of winding down with the Windows speech recognition, voice typing is going to be the thing that's going to replace that. And I think the next update of Windows itself, they're going to be removing that. So it's going to be the main function there. And as you'll see a little bit further down here, when I scroll down on the video here, you do have the ability to add words into the vocabulary and also to do some training. So it's the equivalent of a Dragon itself as well that you can work with if you had the money to pay for it. But at the moment, it's this particular program is free. And then moving on a little bit further, we've got keyboard setups here. So if you're having difficulty using the keyboard, you can use the likes of sticky keys and also filter keys to help adjust the so that if you have difficulty doing key combinations, you can use the sticky keys. If you're having to say you don't want to press the key too many times, that's where filter keys comes in. And when you're turning those on, it makes it a bit easier to use the keyboard. And we've also got the ability to turn on sounds for toggling keys. So if you've got limited vision and you're not sure whether a particular key is pressed, for example, a caps key, you can turn those particular options on. And down at the bottom of that particular option there, we've also got the ability you can use it on screen keyboard as well. So if the person has that doesn't have the ability to press the keyboard at all, but has an alternative form of input, then they can use the keyboard they can use the on-screen keyboard to instead of the keyboard themselves. You need some form of alternative input for device, such as there's a lip sync device that we have that Neil Squire has developed, which uses a sip and puff to control the keyboard itself. So let's move on here again, and I think we're moving on to the last one. We've got here, that's our speech, and then there's the mouse control there as well. So we've got the ability to set up the mouse depending on what the particular issues are. You can turn it on, and you can choose to alter the speed and the acceleration of the mouse pointer on the screen. If you get difficulty tracking where the mouse is, you can do that. And then the last one that's there is eye control as well. This is a sort of it's been around for a little bit, but it's where if you've got some sort of eye tracking device that you're using as an alternative form of input, then you can actually connect up to Windows in order to control the screen. So it really depends on what you're using. So you'd actually, what would happen is the eye tracker would track your eye movements for the mouse around the screen, and also there'd be other gestures that would allow you to make selections and things like that. Okay, so that's that particular one there. Let's move on, and I'm going to touch upon Windows 11. So Windows 11 is very similar to Windows 10 with their accessibility. You're accessing it in the same way. Instead of it being ease of access, though, you're selecting the Windows Start button and going into settings and then accessibility again. But this time round, the menus are slightly different, and they've got some descriptions exactly giving it ideas about what they actually are, and it makes it a bit easier to navigate through of these. And as long as you've got the ability to either, if you've got the ability to control the computer, then you should be able to go in and try these. It's a case of just turning off and turning on the buttons to try out what's there. From this particular list here, I would say that the improvements that they've had to between Windows 10 and Windows 11, one of them is the voice access and voice typing. I've been playing around with that recently. It does recognize my voice a little bit better than Windows 10, which is good. It's unfortunately my accent is pretty strong, and I've found in the past that it's got difficulties. Captionings, the live captions are really good as well that I've been playing around with. Khatidja, do you have any comments on this? Is there anything there? Okay, we can move on from that. Now, the other option we've got here is Macs, accessibility features on the Macs. So Mac operating system is what's on the Mac, and you're accessing it through system preferences. So up at the top left-hand corner, you've got your little Apple ID, and then you can click on that, and then you can select system preferences and then accessibility. When we go into accessibility, again, we've got a similar set of options, but there's going to be differences here as well. I'm just going to run through these again, similar setup to what we had before, but these are categorized into 4 different areas again: vision, hearing, motor, and general. And we can see what each one of them does. So I'll just play this little video here just to show you what's going on here. So in here, the first one we've got here is voiceover. Okay, so voiceover is similar to the voiceover on Android, on iPhones as well, and it's where you can get spoken and braille descriptions for items that when you're navigating through. So you can use keyboard shortcuts to go through and to navigate through when it's turned on. And the benefit of this, the benefit of this particular tool is you do have training options at the bottom there, and you've also got a utility that you can turn on as well, depending on what happens there. Okay. Also related to vision is the zoom function. So in Zoom, we can alter the magnification again of this screen, and a similar set of settings here. You can turn on keyboard shortcuts for these, and you've got the option to use the command key and the other keys there to turn on the controls there. And you've also got the ability to use the scroll gesture as well. So on your the mouse that's on the Mac there, because the mouse is sensitive to finger touch, you can turn on and use the particular options there to zoom in and zoom out. Again, you can change the setup, whether it's a full screen magnification or whether there's you want a quarter of the screen sort of magnified. You can move around, and you can also have a line across the middle of the screen to do sort of line magnification as well. And down at the bottom there, we've got something called hover text, which is something that is quite useful if you're hovering over something. But I think Khatidja is going to be doing talking about that in a little bit as one of the demonstrations we've got today. We can show you that particular option there. Okay, also related to the display, we've got the ability to let's see here. Okay, so I'm just waiting for these. Okay, so again, similar to what we had for Windows, we've got the ability to invert colors and play around with the transparencies and things like that, and also play around with the contrast as well to make it less intense on your eyes. That's the idea with it, and also to perhaps make it sharper as well. So you've got the ability to play around with those particular settings there and adjust them to your particular particular needs. I'm just going to let this through. So if you wanted to reduce the motion on the screen, if someone gets sick from the eyes there, then you can change that. Spoken content as well. So we've got the ability to have different announcements and different text read out depending on what it is that's selected here. So as warnings come up on the screen, or if there's something else that appears, then you can decide what sort of text you want. There is different system voices up at the top there, and you can play the different examples that are available to you, and you can also change the rate and the volume as well. If you've got hearing difficulties as well as vision issues, then you can alter the volume to make it a bit louder so you can hear what's going on there as well. There's also a nice feature there for speech talkback as well. So if you have difficulty with your vision and you want to hear what's being typed out when you're typing out, then it's quite useful to have that particular option there as well. Okay, and you can see I'm just trying some of those ones. You can put check marks in those particular boxes. We've also got sort of descriptive text as well. So where audio descriptions are available for particular pictures and things like that, you can actually have those audio descriptions turned on when you're navigating through. So if you're, for example, navigating websites and things like that, you can have the audio descriptions for those. If there's any sort of alternative text involved, then you can have those read out to you as you're navigating through. Okay, and moving on to the next section here, we've got hearing. So again, you've got the ability to flash alerts if you've say you've got hearing issues there and you wanted to turn on an alert so that you're not going to miss anything. You can run through that, which is quite useful. And we've also got captioning as well. So as I was talking about the live transcription and caption before, you can turn on captions so that anything that plays through as a sound on the computer, anything spoken, then you'll hear, it turns it into captions there for you. I've found that to be pretty good. I've been trialing it on both the Mac and the PC, and also on the other devices, and it tends to work pretty well. The difficulties it might have are with accents, though. I do find that accents are a bit of a problem. Sometimes I was trying to try it out with a French accent, and some of the pronunciation and stuff like that for English was difficult, and also I decided to try and play it through one of my one of the comedy programs that I watched from Scotland, and it did have a little bit of a trouble with it, but unfortunately they don't have a Scottish version of it yet, so it's going to be a bit difficult to do that. One of the really good sections here is moving on to the actual motor control here, is voice control. You can go in and you can set up the voice control to accept different commands and things like that to allow it to run the computer for you, and you can also use it to do dictation as well as part of this. There's also, we've got the keyboard access as well. So so what's happening here is, if you've got difficulty, for example, controlling a mouse, you can use a keyboard to help move on the screen, and you can navigate through different tabs and things like that, depending on whether you've got it set up. But these keys will only be active when the check mark's in the box there, and you can set up additional keyboard shortcuts to the bottom. So if you've got an obscure program that you're using on a daily basis, and there's a particular setup that you wanted, then you can alter those particular setups themselves. We've got the pointer control there as the next one, which is one that will allow you to change the setup of the mouse. So when you're working away on it, so again, you've got the speed of the mouse, and also the how long it takes for the controls to go through. And also we've got something called the mouse key. So when it talks about alternative methods there, we're actually talking about using the number pad or keys on the keyboard instead of actually using the mouse itself. So sometimes people have difficulty grasping the mouse or using the touch functions on the mouse, and in order to get around those particular issues, they can actually use the controls there. Another one that's is relatively new is the likes of facial expressions and switches, which can be used so if you wanted to left click, you could smile if you want, and it would accept it. But you just need to watch that you're not having a conversation with someone when you're actually going through those particular options there, depending on whether that's checked or not. And referring to the sort of switch control there is the next option. because of the Mac operating system and also iOS as well can be pretty adaptable, you tend to find that switch control means that you can plug in a whole load of different types of switches. So if you, depending on your disability, you've got the ability to alter those particular setup so that you can use the likes of gaming controls and different other keyboards and devices and things, depending on what it is you've got. You can actually use them to control the computer as well, having additional tools to help work the computer itself. And the last one we've got here, I think it was, did I go to general? Did I do there? Yeah, I did. Okay, so we've got Siri here, which is the voice control again. So you can put the check mark into type to Siri as well if you want, instead of actually sort of talking to Siri. Khatidja is going to be talking about Siri a bit more shortly, but that's more a case of you asking Siri questions, and it's instead of having to ask the question, you actually type in the question itself. And then we've also got the ability at the very bottom here to do shortcuts. So where you've, oops, don't bear with me, I'm going back here. When I was relating to shortcuts there, what I was talking about was where if you've got, you wanted to go quickly to a particular setting or a particular setup, you can actually go in and set those up as shortcuts on the computer. Okay, moving on, we're talking about Android devices this time around. Again, accessibility features is where we're headed, and you can go in through settings and accessibility. It's got its own set of setups here, very similar to what the Mac operating system's got, and you've got a number of different devices. Again, I've went through these with a little video to record some of them for you, and you can choose which particular ones you want. So first one is TalkBack, which I'm going to, you can turn on and turn off. And basically what it does there is it allows you to read on, for people with vision issues, it reads out the content of the screen. It's quite good. It's not, maybe not as good as VoiceOver, but I would think that it's good for people who've got Android phones there as well. And you can, by turning on the shortcut there, it's giving the opportunity to use either by tapping on the screen or using the swipes to navigate through particular items there that you want to navigate through, and it'll read out the content on the screen there. Moving on to the next one, we've got, so that was TalkBack there, and bear with me a second here. So the next one we've got here is spoken assistance. Okay, so in here we've got the ability here to turn on the spoken keyboard, so that as you're typing in the letters and words on the keyboard, it'll read it out to you. And then we've also got the opportunity to do audio descriptions as well. So you can turn on if there's some sort of audio soundtrack and you're watching videos, they'll give you a quick audio description of what's going on there as well. Okay, next one we've got here is sort of visibility enhancement. So this is where, similar to what we had before on the PC and the Mac, we're actually working our way through the options for high contrast and to make the use of for people with vision impairments, make the use of the phone a little bit easier. Because this phone's got a white background here, my particular phone's got a white background, some people might find black text on a white background difficult to read. So what you can do is you can turn on the likes of high contrast and things like that in order to make it a bit easier to read, depending on what your particular vision issue is. And also, oops, I don't want to, I keep clicking on things that I was not supposed to. So you've got the, let's do this again, hold on, let's do that again. If I do that and I do that there, I was getting there, let's see, I'm going to go back to where I was. Yeah, okay, so I was there and we were talking about vision. Come on. Okay, so we're talking about vision, and we're talking about how you can reduce the blur and turn off animations to make it easier for you to be sitting in front of the phone itself. So for some people, they tend to find that there's issues with their vision, that it prevents them from looking at the screen too, for not too long. And we've also got magnification and magnifier down at the bottom there, along with the pointer size text and the font sizes. So by altering those particular settings, you're going to make the text larger, and it makes it easier to read the screen there. Okay, so I'm going to go back to the top here. The next one we've got here is hearing enhancements. Again, this one is quite useful because you've got the ability to do live transcription and also live captioning. The difference between the two is that when you do a live transcription, you're going to be having the text appear on the screen of the phone. So if you're, say you're deaf, and you wanted to hear what someone was having with a conversation, you could sit the phone down in front of them. You could actually, it will actually transcribe the option there for you. And you've also got the ability to do live captioning. So the captioning is actually built into the for example, videos and things like that, and they'll show the captions there. We've also got hearing aid support, so you can actually amplify. If you're, you can connect your your hearing aids have got Bluetooth support, so you can actually connect the phone up to the Bluetooth, and you've got the ability to amplify sound and also adaptive sound as well. And also you can mute everything if you want, depending on what the particular settings are. But you've got the ability to make adjustments in here. I find that when I'm going through these particular settings with you, it's almost like tuning a car, if you think about it like that. If you've got you're buying a device and you've got a particular disability, by going through and making slight modifications to the setup, you're actually improving your particular use of the device itself. Moving on, we've got the next particular option here, which is, I'm just waiting for it to come up. Bear with me a second here. It's going to be the interaction and dexterity. So these particular options here are ones that allow you to control the computer. If you've got control the Android device, if you've got limited mobility in your hands, you can't use the keyboard or mouse properly. For some of them, they're voice controlled. For some of them, they adapt to your particular dexterity itself, depending on what it is. So, say for example, you're trying to dial a number on the phone and it's having difficulty picking up what it is you're doing, then you can change the actual touch rates and stuff like that there. We've also, I've done it again. Hold on, I'm going to get back to where I was. Yeah, I'm going to do that. Okay, so we talked about hearing and we talked about the vision there. Okay, another option that we've got here down at the bottom again is sticky keys. So if you are using particular keys and you've connected a keyboard up to your phone, so you had a little Bluetooth keyboard, then you've got the ability to go through and alter those particular settings. And the last section we've got there is the advanced settings as well. I believe that's, I'm going to bring that up as well, am I? I don't know if I am. I think I'm there. I'm there. Okay. So advanced settings allow you to set up the buttons that are on the side of your phone. So you've got the likes of the volume control and also the on-off button, and you can set those up so that they can perform particular actions. So if you wanted, I've got the accessibility button, which is this is a button, a little man down in the bottom the right hand corner of the screen there, is there. It's the when you click on that, you can actually bring up the live transcription, but you can also bring up other options there as well. It brings up a menu of different options depending on what it is you want to actually choose. I did the live transcription just as a laugh for somebody recently, because when people were having problems understanding what I was saying, when I talked, the live transcription managed to translate what it was I was saying. So it was actually quite funny watching that. Okay. So I'm going to move on to the next one because time's getting on here. We've also got the ability to do some iOS device settings here. They're very similar to the ones that are on the Mac, so I'm not going to spend too much time. I think because we've got times against us just now, I'm going to skip those for the moment. But in here, these are more because I'm dealing with iOS 17. iOS 17 is the most recent version of the Mac operating system. Sorry, the iOS operating system, and quite a lot of time as Apple has been spending on these particular functions here, and you'll find that some of the descriptions that you've or some of the functions that you have will have been improved quite a lot from here. So some of the ones that I can pick off just now that are really good. The live speech is something that is quite useful. The second column there under speech. We've also got the ability to use the zoom function, and also the voice control as well is something that's quite useful. Khatidja is going to do some examples there from the descriptions that we've got there. Do you have anything to add from what we went through there, Khatidja? No? Okay. So what I'm going to do is, because we've got this presentation in two different halves here, I'm going to stop my share just now, and I'll give Khatidja control from her presentation, and she can continue. Okay, I'm going to stop the share now. Khatidja, if you want to do your share. Start presentation. And I'll leave you to it. Don't forget to turn on your microphone.
There we go. Okay. So here, I've got some quick demo videos just to show you guys what it looks like when you're using this feature. Since we were talking about the iPhone right now, we'll do the iOS text-to-speech right now. So I have a video. Let's see if I can play this video.
Your iPhone or iPad can also speak the entire screen, and you can display the speech controller to quickly access controls like speech playback, the speaking rate, and more. To do this, tap to turn on Speak Screen in the spoken content settings. When it's on, you can swipe down from the top of your screen with 2 fingers to read, or you can ask Siri to read the screen. For quick access to the Speak Screen controls, tap Speech Controller, then turn on Show Controller. The first time the speech controller appears, it will be in the upper left corner. You can drag it with your finger to move it. To display the controls, tap the controller arrow. To hear all text on the screen, tap the play button.
From Grandma, address to Magico Martinez, 7:14 a.m. has attachment, starting with sourdough.
You can also pause
Hi,
Speak
Magico.
Screen,
I love that you're making my sourdough recipe.
skip ahead, skip backward, and change the speaking rate. The Speak on Touch button, which looks like a pointing finger, will let your device start speaking from a line you choose. Tap it, and tap or drag anywhere on the screen to hear the text under your finger.
We can't always get together and make a loaf if you want a lesson in person. You can't have too much bread, in my opinion. Plus, I'd love to have a visit.
You can
So that was just a quick video. I got this video from the Apple support website. And just it's a longer video because it talks about the other features as well. But I just wanted to show one feature, the speech controller, that anybody can use. So if you have difficulty, any kind of learning disability, any kind of vision issues, this is just a quick way to read everything that's on the screen. Okay, let's move on to the next feature.
Your eye.
So the next feature is for the Mac. Again, it's to help people who have difficulty reading. In the Mac, we have different speech options, but this is just using a magnifier in a very specific environment. So I'm just going to skip ahead a little bit because I know, like, I don't want to repeat where we go into settings and everything.
This feature you can quickly if you have low vision to improve the read web page on the Apple. Now, from the drop blue access, click zoom text. Activate this feature. To activate.
So this was just, I've just skipped through half the video because we've already gone through this. You go to the Apple menu, accessibility, zoom. There's an option for hover text. So we're turning that on, and now we'll see
this feature. To start using hover text, press and hold the Command key on your keyboard, and then hover your mouse pointer over the text you would like to enlarge. The enlarged text is now displayed in a pop-up box. If the selection is too long to be displayed at once, simply scroll within that box to view the rest. Text size, font, and other settings can be changed through the Options menu on the previous accessibility window.
So that was the previous, think of it as if using a magnifier. So you have a magnifier in your hand, and you're basically just going each word by word, but the computer is doing that for you. You're controlling it with your mouse pointer, and of course the setting with the Command key. Next up is for Windows system. We talked about how there's other interaction we can do. We can use our voice to control the computer. This is only doing a very specific feature, which is dictating. So if you would rather not type, you're a hunt and peck typist, you can't reach, all the keys on the keyboard that easily. Dictation, it's a great way to type your messages, type in any kind of word processing document, because it pretty much works anywhere because it's inbuilt. So again, I'm gonna go and speed through a little bit.
So, see, it just continues on.
Okay, here.
Phone.
So
Windows key plus H.
okay. Oh, so there. So a notepad window, and here's how they start the dictation.
Right now, so if we do Windows key plus H, we bring up the microphone. But as you can see, it just continues on like it's one sentence without adding punctuation. Maybe if I say add a period to the end of it, period. Or we could say, is this a question, question mark? But it'd be nice to be able to do this without having to say the punctuation, and also to have it capitalize the words as we go along here. Okay, so we're going to delete this here. Then we're going to go into the settings here. So there's the auto punctuation. So we turn that on. And then there's this voice typing launcher, which will kind of give you a little thing down here so you don't have to do the Control H every time. So we'll turn that on. And we'll just click off it here. So now you can see when we type in or click in the box here, it brings this thing up automatically. And now, so let's see what happens here. Now we are going to try the auto punctuation feature. Can I ask a question? As you can see, it's adding the punctuation as we go along. If you just pause after a sentence, it will know and put a period at the end. And if you ask a question, it will put a question mark. And you can see it capitalizes the first word after it makes a new sentence. But if you want to add something like an exclamation point, you will still need to do it because it doesn't know if you are getting excited or angry. So if I go, "This is making me mad!" exclamation point. Now you can see it puts the punctuation there.
That was
Anyways.
that for dictation. Again, anybody can use it. It is also, it's getting better. So it also understands accents a little bit better. Not all the accents, not very strong accents as much. But I had somebody with a very pronounced Chinese accent, and accuracy wasn't that bad. So you'd have to try to see if it will work for you or not, but it's free, inbuilt, works wherever you can type. So as long as you have a typing box, you can use this and it will make your life easier.
One thing I would like to add about the auto punctuation is you need to watch what you're doing when you're doing the dictation, because sometimes an odd comma somewhere where Windows thinks it's going to put the comma can sometimes change the meaning of the sentence. So you need to watch what you're doing. Sometimes if you've got a good command of the English language and you want to put your own punctuation and make sure that particular feature's turned off in case there's problems. Okay.
All right, so that was for the computer related things, features that we've already talked about. The next one is for the phones. So on an Android phone, we have Google Assistant built in. If you've ever tried to, you've seen the videos, like say, "Okay, Google," or "Hey, Google," or you can even hold down the button. So your center home button, if you hold it down, Google Assistant will pop up. And you can use this assistant to give voice commands. So you can give commands to make phone calls, to look up something, to send text messages, to modify some settings. So on Android, we have Google Assistant, and on iPhones,
Step 1. Say,
come back to this because I want to compare both. So on the iPhone, we have Siri. So Android gets Google, iPhone gets Siri. They both are pretty similar in what they can do. So I've got an example list of commands. Slight differences in maybe the language and how you say it, but they're both equally powerful in doing these things. So you can do something like settings related, turn on the Wi-Fi, adjust the volume. You can do something like call. So call somebody, text somebody. As long as the person is in your contacts, the call and text works great. You can use reminders, calendars, lots of different examples. Google and iOS, they both have this support article that's about 4 or 5 pages long with different combinations of commands, different language, different words that you can use. But for this, I have a demo for calls, and we're using a Google, Android and Google to do the calls. I'm just going to go back, and this is the demo. We're going to play this right now.
Step 1. Say the wake word, "Hey Google," or "Okay Google." Or use the dedicated assistant activation method on your device, such as holding down the home button. Step 2. Use a command like call contact's name, dial the phone number, and call a business name, and call contact's name, mobile, work, home for specific numbers. Step 3. Google Assistant will confirm the contact or number and ask if you want to make the call, confirm or follow any additional prompts if there is. Step 4. Google Assistant will place the call for you.
There we go. So as long as you have the person saved in your contacts, you can say the number too, or you can say the name. It works better if you save the person as a contact. So that's for people who difficulty using maybe mobility challenges, dexterity challenges, quick ways using Google, using Siri to do some quick tasks. All right. So that was most of the demos. How are we doing for time? We've got a few more things, but for demos, those were the video demos. How are we doing for time?
It depends how long we've got. That's just at 1 o'clock. So,
Okay. I'm just going to quickly speed through this. There aren't any demos. These are just some quick features.
How much time do you need?
Pardon me?
maybe
How much
another
time do you need?
5 or
You
10
can
minutes. Is that
continue
okay?
about 2 minutes. It's okay.
Was it 5 or 10 minutes? Is that okay?
Yeah, you can continue.
Thank you. All right. So these are some on the internet. I'm using Google Chrome because that's the most commonly used browser, but you can do it on other browsers like Edge, Firefox. These extensions will work on other platforms as well. So the first one is Smart Compose in Gmail. So if you have a Gmail account, this is Gmail's version of predictive typing. So if you see the screenshot on the left, when you start typing, I hope, Gmail tries to fill in the rest of the sentence. Sometimes it will also take the name. So it will say hello and put the name in if you've typed the contact's name. And as you keep typing, Gmail will try to predict what you're saying and try and fill that in and do suggestion. You can ignore the suggestion and continue typing, or you can accept the suggestion, up to you. But this is an account-wide setting. So if you go into your Gmail settings, it's called Smart Compose. And then if you use Gmail, whatever browser, Chrome, Edge, Firefox, phones, Safari, it will work everywhere. So that's predictive typing in Gmail. Next one is some extensions. So extensions are little utilities that you download. In Google Chrome, you go to Chrome Web Store and get those extensions. In Firefox, they're called add-ons. In Microsoft Edge, they're called extensions. And these are some examples. They're similar. I found AdBlock Plus, uBlock, they're pretty good at blocking the banner ads. So, you see at the top some deceptive advertising, sometimes the pop-ups. YouTube, that's one of my favorites. I like listening to YouTube, so blocking the ads in YouTube does a pretty good job. Another example of an extension, Read Aloud. Again, this is very similar to the Windows and Mac and all the other inbuilt settings we talked about. You can use those, or this is a dedicated reader just on the internet. So as long as you're reading on Chrome, on Firefox, on Edge, as long as the page is over there, this will read it. You can adjust the speed, the highlight, the voice, but it's a pretty neat extension as long as you're reading on the internet. A few advanced sort of options. I just discovered this a few days ago. So when you type in the top address bar, you're searching for something. Chrome, this is a very Chrome thing. It starts giving some action suggestions. If you look, there are other suggestions there, but there is one that says clear browsing data. If you click on it, it's going to open up the related setting where you can go clear your data in one step. So you type the word in search as if you were searching for it, but Chrome Actions kicks in, takes you right to the menu there. So that I discovered that a few days ago.
So if you've been to somewhere, you're not supposed to have been on the internet, then you can go in and you can empty your history. Then that's what we're saying.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. And there are other examples of quick actions too. So one of the other actions that I do like is also password. So I've done a screenshot for the long form, how to go to password manager step by step. So you go into settings, you go into passwords, and then Google Password Manager. But if you had typed in the search, if you had typed Password Manager in the search, it would have worked. So it's kind of like using Hey Google within Chrome, except you're not using your voice. It's not on the phone. It's on the computer within Chrome, and you're typing a specific phrase and the actions kick in. But yeah, this is the inbuilt password manager. You don't need third-party password services. You can just do it here. And once you are here, it lists it out by the website. So you've got the website, you've got the username, and then you've got the password. Those are the three crucial things, right? So what's the website you're on? So let's say I have banking. So banking website, what's the username and the password for that website? Google saves all of it. It saves it in your account and remembers it. So that's your Google Password Manager. That was it for my quick extensions,
Yes.
quick tips, quick tools.
Thanks, Khatidja. Okay, so both of us are part of Neil Squire's Distance Computer Comfort Program. So if anybody is interested in learning more about how to use their computer, use their mobile devices, we've got a program that allows you to learn more about it. Everything's done online, so it means that we use Zoom much in the same way as we're using Zoom just now to connect. We've got volunteer tutors who work with clients on a one-to-one basis. It's up to 2 hours a week, once a week for about 12 weeks. And what we do is we will teach you how to do the basics of some of the things that we're doing here. We've also got our contact details here. I've created a little QR code here that you can use. You can point your cell phone at the screen and take a picture, and it'll take you to the website. And there's also the website address there, which is neilsquire.ca/DCC. And if you wanted to, there's also my email address and telephone number as well, if you want to get in contact with us that way. And what we can do is we can discuss on a sort of one-to-one basis anything you need help with, and hopefully we'll be able to get you the right tutor to help fill in the blanks of the particular issues that you may be having. Okay, so thank you very much for turning up today. I'm not sure if we've got time for questions at all. If you do have any questions concerning anything that we've covered today, I'm quite open to emails. Do we have time just now for questions, or has anyone got any questions at all? Does anybody have anything that they want to ask? Anyone at all?
I think we're okay.
I think we're okay for today. I don't know if anyone else is there. Okay, well, I think is that, I don't have anybody holding up their hands or anything like that, so I'm assuming that that's everybody was okay with that. Does anybody have any questions?
Nope, I think we're good. Thank you
Good.
for the presentation, attending the presentation, and you have our contact details. Send us a message, give us a call, and we'll try and work with you depending on what your goals are, and we'll go from there.
Yeah. Diane, do you have a question, or you just turned on your
No,
microphone?
I just wanted to say thank you for the information.
Okay.
I didn't realize it was going to be for all three systems, but that's cool.
Okay, well, we're quite welcome to working with you. If there's something in particular that you need help with, then we can, if you get in contact with us, then we can, work with you on a one-to-one basis to get, more training on the particular areas you want. Okay.
Yeah. Okay.
Thank you, Kauser, for organizing and being a tech support.
And
We'll.
thank you. This was very informative. Thank you so much.
All right, we'll keep in touch.
Yeah.
Bye.
Thank you very much for your time.
Bye, everyone.